Hi, it's just Bob. Video number 2. Ooh. Anyway, after I made that video the other day and posted it, and I was talking about my time when I was 5 years old and about the light that I saw and all of that. And afterwards, I was sitting watching, well, YouTube again, and something, one of the videos popped up like they do, um, the algorithm, I guess. But anyway, it popped up with a video of a guy who was describing the same thing. And he was also 5 years old when it happened. Only it was probably, I think he said it was in the 1980s. But anyway, he had the same description of the light and how it was everywhere. And it wasn't just light, it was energy. It felt, you could feel it. It had a being to it, an existence of something, some intelligence, and it was me. You just don't know it until you realize that. But that is, it's a like looking into the mirror. And if you didn't have a physical form, that's what you would be, is just energy, just light. But it has all the feelings of what you feel now. You brought all that to this body. And so, the saying that I've always had in my head is that I'm not, I'm not a body that has a soul. I'm a soul that's just passing through a body. And you can do that as often, thousands of times during your existence, and you've existed forever. So everything is energy. And there's another YouTube channel I watched, Tara Callender, and I just all of a sudden she popped up on the same way with her show, and I've been watching them, and they are so in sync with everything I believe in, everything I know. Um, it's so there's others out there who are having the same experience I'm having. My spirituality isn't a religion. It is a knowing, an understanding of things that before I didn't understand. I didn't even wasn't even aware that they existed. And now I'm aware of everything. But every aspect of my life, from the day I was born the second time to now, has been in alignment with that very thought, that very being of the spirituality being awareness. Now, every time something happens, and it makes me aware of something else. It's synchronistic. The sight of one thing will bring up an image of another, and then that one, once it gets into the image form, gives me all these feelings that I've been here before, I've felt this before, and what it is, and it lays over the top of whatever is going on in the, like a template almost, whatever's going on in my life at that moment that brought the memory up or the awareness. And sometimes it's as simple as you're walking down the road or on the pathway somewhere, and you look down and there's something that catches your eye. You become aware of it. And maybe you walk that path every day for the last 20 years and never saw anything like it. But today, it's there. And it's only there because you became aware of it. And that's where I have learned through all these synchronicities that life is. You go down a trail, and whatever it is that you become aware of is something that is there because you were supposed to be there, see it, feel it, and become aware of it. You might want to keep it as a souvenir because you can do that. I make collages on my walks now, and you find a feather, I have a tray, so you put it on the tray. Found a rock that was interesting or a seashell, put it on the tray. Each day I have a different image, I photograph it, and then I can make a wall art out of it if I want. But it is becoming aware of things you walk by every day. It's also the way we deal with people in our lives. We walk by them every day. We don't know them. We can't feel who they are. But I'll tell you, being somebody who can, I just went through a year of coming out of my shell and going back out into society and heading down. I went down into Seattle. I have a friend, and I spent a lot of time over the last year in and out around Seattle. And the energy of the city was like pins and needles to me. It was like I was standing in a static filled room, and I was getting shocked by everything in it that I came near. And it finally overwhelmed me. I just couldn't do it anymore, and I'm back on the island again. And it has nothing to do with anything other than I'm not geared to be in that much energy and stay aware of what I need to be aware of. Because energy has polarity. Like poles repel, opposites attract. Everything is about that polarity because it's about pressure. The place we live in birth, it is in equilibrium. And that first breath you take is when life begins. Because if you don't take it, you don't live. So whatever happens, that first breath in and the exhale is the last thing you do in this life. So you come in with an inhale, you exit with an exhale. That's life, that's death. You don't change. Everything you've learned during the time between that inhale and exhale, all those other breaths you've taken, that's your life. That's the feeling. That in and out, it's the feeling that says, I'm here. This is what it feels like to be me. And if I don't exhale, I can't be here and not exhale. I can't be here and not inhale. And life isn't that temporary. Life is forever. And I have a scenario I like to tell people a lot of times about how I view how life is. And it's, to me, I'm going through this life as basically my consciousness. And when I get to a point where I'm going to go and I want to experience something, it's like, okay, I'm in the lobby of a theater and the movie's going to start. So the doors open up on the theater and I go in and I sit down with everybody else. And we're packed in this theater. And right before the movie's going to start, the lights go out. And when they come back on, there's going to be a whole lot of stuff that you have to go through first, kind of like living in the womb. And then the movie comes on, and it usually starts out with this kind of, all of a sudden you're in this world. And the longer you watch it, sitting in the dark, you become part of that movie. You've stepped out of your singularity of being just you, and now you are that character in the movie. And the longer you watch, the more involved you get in the movie, the more it becomes you. And the things that happen to that character startle you, and do other physical things to you, that while you're sitting there in the dark, and it's no matter how many people are in there, it's now just you in that movie. And the realism is like a placebo effect, even though it doesn't have any bearing on the disease. You have to, your body will create that cure of becoming, instead of being outside of the movie, you're going to move into the movie, all fully invested. You'll feel everything, you'll see everything. That's what it's like. And so, to me, the biggest factor of the whole thing is when the movie is starting to play down and the end of it comes out, and whether you got killed in the movie or you lived in the movie or whatever the ending was, it was the end of the movie. You're still sitting in the theater. And when the lights come on, you notice that all the people in there are gone. And it's just you in the theater. All those other people were actually you too. Just different perspectives of that same movie. But once you go back out to the lobby, all of those feelings now are just you. You're the only one exiting. You're the only one that's carrying that information, because all the other players in the movie were also you. You were the actor, you were the director, the producer, you were everything that had to do with putting that movie on the screen, and you were the screen. It was playing within you. And you were every actor in the movie playing those parts. You're even the horse if it's a Western. So anything that is going to exude a feeling in you that you want to experience, you have a player in that movie. And it all comes together in the end. And it's you. Just you. That's my viewpoint on this one. Just my perspective. Just Bob. Bye.